Hello, and welcome to Fic Fiction, a magical bookish podcast for chaotic story goblins just like us. Today is a very special day on the pod for the Hermione girlies listening. Most Hermione fics that are trad published this year are actually fairly direct adaptations, but one stands out among them as being a little bit different. One author has answered the question, what happens when you take your god-tier fic featuring, of course, the brightest witch of her age turned BAMF researcher in a forced proximity bodyguard situation with her childhood tormentor turned Auror, and then use those vibes and inspiration to create an entirely new world with new characters and a new plot to boot. That author is Bridget Knightley, and tonight we will be examining both her fic Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love, my very favorite fic, by the way, and her debut published novel, The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which is part 1 in a duology. So get your heart-shaped glasses and a snack, and by the way, don't forget to tell your cat pss, pss, pss for me before we get started. As always, we're your hosts, Crimson,
Molly,
and Emmy.
Hi, guys.
Evening. Welcome to the Chaos Circle.
Yes.
We are thriving.
That we have recorded 26 minutes of footage and only now have actually started the podcast for this evening.
And we were also supposed to start 45 minutes ago. So
that could be its own episode.
That's ahead of schedule for us, to be fair. Like,
you know, it's true.
Anything less than an hour, we're slaying. It's great.
So
We've been having less like reading sprint nights, and I think that the less reading sprint nights we have, the more we have to catch up before we can possibly start recording. So
yeah,
for sure.
I agree. But how are you guys? I know that we only recorded a couple of days ago, but how are you both? How has the last couple of days been? Have you been reading anything? Crimson, let's start with you this time.
I have not really been reading anything. I finally, however, finished the bookcases, and all of my books are out of their boxes, and I don't know if they're in their final resting spot, but they are on a shelf, and so that is amazing. Of course, I immediately realized that all of this space that I created, it's not I'm more than doubled the amount of bookshelf that I had from the last apartment, and I am one trip to the bookstore away from running out of room, I think. Like, it is already pretty tight. So I am now scoping out other walls where I can put half billies everywhere. Because
Yes, you should.
I'm gonna need...
It's always the way it goes. Like, you get another bookcase to make up for the fact that your shelf or your shelves are overflowing. You have that shelf built and you move the books over and you've already run out of room.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
It's like there's like one shelf left. But like I'm about to go to Scotland, and every time I go to a predominantly English-speaking country, I end up coming home with a lot of books because they're kind of expensive here. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Oh my God, we need to take you to the works.
We're going to the works.
I know.
And we are terrible influencers. We're like never going to say, no, you shouldn't get that. It's always, you need that.
Yeah. There's a works near my house that we can go to.
Also, tell me why, as I was putting away these books and I was trying to figure out how to put them in a way that's like reasonably organized, I kept encountering series that I somehow only have like the first few out of like an 8-book series. And I was like, oh, well, I have to buy those. So like in theory, I'm already out of room.
Maybe you should start reading the series first to make sure that you like them.
Oh, but I have. Like, it's actually, the ones that are like that are like Plated Prisoner series, Zodiac Academy. Like, they're series that I'm just like part of the way through. And so I haven't bought all the books yet.
But also, what if you start reading them and really like them and you want to continue on? So really, like, you need the rest of the series to like start the series.
Exactly, that's true.
This is my thought process. That's why I don't have any room.
With Plated Prisoner, there's the normal covers, but now they have the white covers that are really pretty. So I don't. These are other problems that I have. Is that I love all the special editions. So and now I have an Illuma Christmas. You what?
I have one of the Plated Prisoner books, right? Because you bought me one.
Yeah, I think I bought you Guild.
And now you've got a book subscription.
And I have a book subscription.
But-
And I'm on the wait list for Fairy Loot as well. But that's probably going to take forever to happen. So.
My Fairy Loot coming in has been like the best and worst thing ever, because it's amazing that I get 3 fancy books every month, and 9 times out of 10 there'd be books that I'd be buying anyway. The bad thing about it is that I get pre-sale for all of the Fairy Loot drops, and that's dangerous.
There
because
goes my money.
I
Yeah.
ordered Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry.
Mm.
And Fairy Loot have now just announced their copy of that. And I have the 2 other Fairy Loot copies of that.
So you're going to need the Fairy Loot copy.
But it's not going to ship until way after they've released it. So I'm going to have 2 copies.
So you're going to need a different copy.
We don't need to talk about how many copies of Metal Slinger I own.
Currently or going forward?
How many?
Technically 3.
Technically.
So far.
Okay. Well, I already own 3 copies of this book and I haven't even read it yet. So it's fine.
So would love to get my hands on one of the proofs for Metal Slinger. Have you seen them? They're stunning. But I don't even know how to get one. Like, how do I get one of this?
At this stage, they've all gone out. So your best bet is going to be trying to trade on an ARC trade group. However, I imagine Metal Slinger is going to be a top priority for people. So it may be difficult. It may be a trading your firstborn child kind of situ.
Yeah.
I suppose like the good thing is that I have the indie copy.
You do.
So yeah. I have the indie copy, so I just like the really shiny copy of the proof. The proof is stunning. But I have the Waterstones one coming, and then also I've got the Fairy Loot one when it comes. So.
Molly, what have you been up to the past 2 days?
Not a whole fucking lot.
Love that.
I've been reading. I finished my bind of Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love. That is the big thing that I did this week, which is a big deal. Blood, sweat, and tears. Let me tell you, lot of fucking effort. I did that.
This is the one where you did the pink the custom. What is that even called? The little thing in the. Do you know what I'm saying? The thread that pops out the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like taking a break from binding for a little bit because that was a lot. It was a lot. And I need to work on my PhD because I've been severely slacking because of said bind. Whoops. It's fine. It's summer.
How dare our real lives and jobs get in the way?
It's rude, really, isn't
it? Yeah.
In terms of reading, I actually read an ARC this week, which I'm really proud of. I was late, but I still read it. So I read Warrior Princess Assassin by Bridget Camera, and it was very good. I think it's something that is right up Emmy's street. A lot of yearning. It is a slow burn. Nothing particularly.
I love a yearn.
It is. Nothing particularly sexy happens until like the second to last or third to last chapter. And it's marketed as a throuple romance. So yeah. Good book. Good book. I have also been reading The Monstrous Meat Cutes by Wendy Guff, and I am on the 5th, I think. So that is what I am reading at the moment. What about you, Emmy? What have you been up to?
I went back to work this week. Obviously, I had some time off, and I went back to work this week. So I'm doing my big girl job again. It's actually been a pretty good week. I'm very tired, so I'm like out of routine. I did finish The Enchanted Greenhouse today by Sarah Durst. I did the audiobook for that. Loved it. And then there's like reference to some of the characters in like book 1 at the end, and it's beautiful. And I kind of hope that like, I don't know whether she's going to continue like a series with it, and maybe like these characters will meet eventually, but I don't know. But it was really cutesy. I loved it.
Did it live up to the first one for you?
It had its own quirks. The first one is very much like, any fans of like Stardew Valley will love it. It's all about like settling in a new place and like planting vegetables and opening a jam shop and like selling your things and like whatever. The second one is about like saving an enchanted greenhouse with like a really cutesy romance and like a lot of talking plants. I would say the first one is better, in my opinion, but both of them were very good in their own ways.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Right.
But other than that, I don't have much to tell you, really. I'm going to the ice hockey this weekend.
Can we just appreciate how we talk every day, multiple times a day, and we still ask each other, "What have you been doing this week?" And then go, not a lot.
What have you done today?
But it's probably because we've already shared everything that's going on in our lives at this point. That we're like,
yeah. It's like thinking of things you guys don't know about is pretty hard, because usually if I have a thought, I immediately tell you about it.
To be like, I'm eating an adult Lunchable right now. Is it good? It's great.
Yeah, that's like the majority of our group chat has been like adult Lunchables this week. Like, I'm having a really good time.
Adult Lunchables and like the antics of a ridiculous tabby cat. Like,
yeah.
Excellent.
Actually, he was very interesting today. So I've given him some cat grass on his little patio, his little balcony. And the thing is I can't give him a lot of cat grass because he will literally eat the whole thing and throw it all up immediately. So what I did is I got one of those kits where you grow it, and I only let it grow for like a couple days, where it was like this long, and then I gave it to him. So he's eaten it down like immediately. And every day he goes and like eats at this stem that's like barely hanging on. But today it had dried out a bit, and so he accidentally like unpotted the whole thing.
No!
Oh no.
It came
My
out as like
poor
this one big
baby.
disc of just cocoa substrate. Yeah, like
I mean, he's on some form of crack this week between
He is properly feral.
turning off your work meetings when you're in a work meeting by like standing on your keyboard, to leaving shellac gel paint paw prints up the stairs,
Humping all your
plants,
stuffies.
humping all of the stuffies. Yeah, what is wrong with him this week?
I need you
His
to
mercury
understand
is in the microwave.
that if you don't think this is his normal, I have been misrepresenting him to you. This is like very average pineapple. Like he's just
very feral this week.
It feels like mercury is in the microwave.
I don't know. This feels very usual to me. I'm just happy he hasn't been biting me. So like, it's fine.
I love that video
this time.
I love the video that you sent into the group chat where you were trying to show us the paint like on his paws. And you like grabbed his paw and he immediately chomped on your hand, and you're like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. But look at his paw.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like
he's
immune.
like hanging there, and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that left actually quite a few marks, but I think they already went away, so like whatever. It's okay.
Peggy drooled in my mouth yesterday. Molly, you missed that. Crimson's witnessed this on Discord voice. She like came right up to my face and licked my nose and then drooled into my mouth, which was a choice.
That's so sweet. She loves you.
It was really cute. If you come up to her, she will like touch her nose to yours. Like she gives like little like nose kisses.
I used to do that. He doesn't do that anymore, but he did when he was
She did
young.
it of her own accord. She walked up to me and did it. She never does that.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, Pi used to do that when he was young, I had gotten him to he would sit on the bar top in the apartment I lived in, and he would give you little nose kisses when you would go to give him a kiss. It was really cute. He doesn't do that anymore now. He just, stares at you like you're insane until the moment he wants to cuddle, and then he tries to exit you out of meetings. It's fine. It's totally fine.
I love how it probably would sound like an excuse as well. Like you having to explain to your boss, like, sorry, my cat, he turned off the
Giving
meeting.
my dog ate my homework. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's great is it was a meeting where I was having a one-on-one with one of my direct reports. So like I was the boss in this scenario. Imagine that your boss is trying to tell you something important and trying to like coach you and mentor you and is in the middle of a sentence that's like trying to give you good advice and suddenly just disappears into the ether. That's what was happening to this poor man.
Peggy did like pull one of my leads out of my computer once and the whole thing turned off. That was a vibe.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're not borrowing, I promise. I'm just tired. Hello.
Same. On that note, I think we need to talk about some books. Should we start with a fan fiction?
Let's fucking do it. Yeah.
Let's do it in order. Let's do it where the lore started. I would just like to say that I did attempt to read this fanfiction, and I did have every ground to finishing it because I really enjoyed the parts that I read. I read like 30 to 40% of it. And then life got just insanely busy, and I was feeling very overwhelmed by all of the books that I had to read with my arcs and the podcast books, and I just stopped reading everything that I was meant to read and picked up something else. So I may go back and finish it, but I'm only like 30% in.
You better go and fucking finish it.
Yeah, you better.
I think I'm just at the point where they went to like, was it like the bonfires to collect something? That's like the end of that is like where I stopped. So
it's such a slow burn. Like all the good stuff is later. Like you gotta, you gotta stay. I have a question for Molly though, which is, when did you read Batmobile? Because I read this as a whip. Did you read it as a whip or did you read it later?
Yeah.
This was one of the most delicious works in progress I ever read as it was coming out. Like I was waiting so hard for every single, I think I started it when it was maybe like 10 chapters in or something, and it just captivated me like immediately. The writing is just incredible.
She is incredible. She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's not really anything above it you can say. It's written like somebody that has published multiple books. But it's a fanfic. It's not like it's anything that is like either indie published or trad published. She obviously had beta readers. It's not like it's completely like feral. Apologies in advance. This isn't my first language kind of like style fic, but it's a fanfic. At the end of the day, it's something that somebody does, and just not like she's being paid to do it. This is something that she's done as her hobby.
It's also a fanfic in the sense of like, this is not like if you read the author's notes, the original author's notes on the fic, as you go, she literally was just like, I have never found a fic that has all of the things in it that I like in one place. And so I am writing the end all be all fic that has every trope that I'm into. And she would tell you at the beginning of each chapter what trope she was dealing with this week. But if you didn't read that note, you would never think of it that way because like it just flows together so well. It's such a beautifully crafted story. The way their romance like blooms over time is insane. But also like it is, if you're looking for it, it is like, oh yeah, this is the one bed trope chapter or whatever. Like, and it's so ficky in that way, in the most delightful. Yeah.
I was so impressed by the writing in this fic. That was one of the things that like I did notice was like, this is like top tier writing. Like, what do you mean?
She is incredible. She is intelligent. You're reading and you know that she is just exceptionally intelligent, brilliant. Her use of language, you know, she's so witty. And I was coming across words I've never heard in my life, like ever heard in my life. And I'm not saying that like I'm, you know, savant style human being, but I read a lot. I know a lot of words. I am an academic, but the words that she was coming out with, I was like, what the fuck? I had a list. And it's not just for the fic, but her published work as well. I had a notes on the notes app, a list of words that I'd come across and I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll obviously get into details in a minute, but I also the fic is from Draco's perspective specifically, and I've read a lot of fics from Draco's perspective because it's my favorite. And I like writing from his perspective as well. But I think she captures so well like a certain maleness of him that is just like so funny and delightful, and like a different set, like she really is capturing like the different emotional expectations that he has for himself, like because of his upbringing. And it's just it's like chef's kiss. I mean, it's just so, it truly is, I think, my favorite fic of all time.
It is. It's incredible. It's obviously there's seriousness to it, but it's so lighthearted and cozy. It's like a hug. Like the fic is like a hug. I'll sit there and I'll read it and I'll be laughing. It doesn't matter how many times I've read it. I'll be like bawling my eyes out laughing. Just some of the things that both of them come out with, but especially Draco.
Yeah. Especially Draco is like, he takes himself so seriously, but also he's so cheeky, and everything he says is just got a bit of a joke in it. And it's just, I love it. I love it so much. And he's got it so bad and doesn't see it. And it's like, she writes it so well because she doesn't write it in that like very blatant, like so often people, and I'm not knocking this type of writing at all, but like very often the way that is written is like very sarcastically, well, of course not, like of course I would never do that, but it's like so outright like that. And her writing is just not that way. It's very like, you can feel that he does not believe that he cares one iota about her, but then there's all these little things he's doing that's like, are you sure you don't care? I think you care.
She is the queen of the idiots in love trope.
Yes.
No one can do it as good as her.
I agree. But anyway, for our listeners who have never read this fic, do you have a summary for us so that they kind of know what they might be getting into?
Do I have a summary? Of course I've got a bloody summary. Okay. So, Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love. Hermione Granger is the brightest witch of her age. She may very well be the brightest witch of this century. Her brilliance has never been in question. She embraces the magical and the muggle with degrees and masteries from both. She has wars of accolades and accomplishments to show her brilliance and juggles a litany of jobs: medical researcher, muggle doctor, and a magical healer, to name a few. But most importantly, she's on the cusp of an academic breakthrough that could permanently alter the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of people for the good. However, her academic pursuits do not come lightly, and such impact upon the wizarding community has the potential to become extremely dangerous, even for former war heroines such as herself. As such, when the Minister for Magic, Kingsley Shacklebot, by the way, learns of her hypothesis and ongoing research, he seeks the aid of the Aura Department. The head Aura, Tonks Lupin, slay, offers her best Aura a job fit for his position. Draco Malfoy must choose between being the protection detail for the uptight little fusspot and former schoolhood nemesis, or investigating wizards unknown who are creating and distributing troll porn. There is no question which of the assignments is more palatable, but having to be in constant companionship with Healer Granger may be a close second. That being said, what's the worst that could happen? It's not like they fancy each other or anything. When Draco begins to feel stirrings, his first instinct is to repress and crush them down. But when Hermione's research takes her on an international adventure, his vigilance makes way for a budding friendship. After all, there is nothing quite like a heist, falsified identities, corruption, and espionage, and stealing a priceless, sentient, religious artifact to stir the loins and heart.
It's true. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about this in my little reread. But I was thinking about it because of your summary. One of my favorite things that really sets up the kind of person Hermione is going to be, because we obviously are introduced to her a bit later, in the first bit. It takes a while for us to really get to see her on a regular basis. Um, every time Draco is talking to anybody about her, people are correcting him because she has so many titles.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about it when you said Healer Granger, because like he goes to try to see her at St. Mungo's and they're like, this is Healer Granger. And he goes to try to see her at Cambridge and it's
Professor Granger.
Yeah. And every place he goes, somebody is telling him that he doesn't know how to address this person that he's known since his school days and that he never took seriously. And then she turns out to just be truly like the most formidable person, like, but in a delightful way. Like this is my favorite Banff Hermione I've ever read. Like she's just so like
Terrifying.
terrifying, but
She
like in
is
an intoxicating way. Yes.
It's hot. It's like step on my mommy, like level, like
Yeah.
terrifying. But this woman has a back-to-back color-coded schedule where she's needs to be in like 5 different places at once. And while she's exhausted, don't get me wrong, she's like burnt out as fuck. She is still killing it and she's there when she needs to be.
And also, the way Bridget has written this is so genius because she incorporates these like world building elements where Hermione is really the only witch who is leveraging both Muggle and wizarding technology, and she basically invents wizard text messaging, which is genius. But she also does all of these other things, and she's like, one of the biggest things protecting her research is simply that wizards can't use computers. And
fucking iconic, man.
It creates all these moments.
Wild, by the way, it's hilarious.
Yes, it's so funny. But also it creates like this wonderful appreciation of like how much of an island a person that smart and that busy has to be, because she just is the only person who can actually decipher everything that's going on in her brain or everything that she's doing, which is just absolutely insane and such a genius way, I think, to like tie her personality to the world that she's built.
And it's hilarious because this Hermione is very true to, she is the type of person that is always wanting to do good. She doesn't want to break rules, but she will bend rules when it comes to, the well-being of society and well-being of wizard kind, should we say. So we do see her breaking the law. She's created these type of artifacts that allow the wizarding world to accept like Muggle technology. Like she's able to use a computer within the wizarding world because she's created these like pucks essentially that triangulate the magical force field to prevent them from breaking technology. And technically speaking, Draco points out, it's like, this is illegal. And she's like, it's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's fine. Like, chill. It's like, whatever.
Yeah. It's such a slay. Like, she's just, I love her. And then I love that in the midst of all of that, she still has this very cranky, very particular cat that is like a huge character in this story, actually.
Crookshanks is the main character in many ways. I mean, his relationship with Draco, as it like gradually starts to form, is heartwarming but also hilarious. He is the person that kind of vets everyone, and you know that when he begins to accept Draco, that perhaps he's not the guy he used to be, should we say.
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite tropes, is when Crookshanks ends up being super friendly with Draco but hates him at first. I think it's like the best little, so cute. It's also just so cats too, like
Like Draco waking up with Crookshanks like smothering him like around his neck, and Hermione's like, "Oh shit! Like, let me move him." He's like, "No, it's fine. He's starting to like me."
Yeah. I'll die this way if I have to. It's okay. Like, yeah, it's great.
Should we address the elephant in the room in terms of what this research is? Because obviously we're not afraid of spoilers here, are we?
No, we
I
are
don't
not.
think we are.
No. So the breakthrough, the academic breakthrough that Hermione is working towards here is curing sorry, my brain's gone.
Lycanthropy.
That's the one, lycanthropy. She is wanting to cure lycanthropy. And that is huge because we obviously see the effect of this disease on a very beloved person in her life.
Mhm.
So Remus Lupin has been a part of her life since she was a child. She's very close to them in the order, and now he is married to another person that she's very close to, Hedora Tonks Lupin. But nobody knows that this is what she's working on apart from Kingsley, and it takes a good, like, significant amount of time for Draco to actually find out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And it does become a bit of an issue in their encounters because he's like, I can't protect you properly unless you tell me what the fuck you're doing. But she's kind of leading him on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Like, not even her research assistants at the university or at St. Mungo's know what she's doing. They know bits and pieces, but the whole picture, only she knows.
The fact that it's an outright cure, which is what she's working on, is the thing that they don't know. They think she's just, researching, but she's figured it out. Pretty much. She has all the puzzle pieces and she just needs to do some tests. And this is what also sends her on the big adventures, is that she needs some very powerful ingredients really to put this all together. And they have to be collected from certain places on certain days. And this means that she has to go put herself in danger consistently and do some things that are illegal. And Draco, in doing his duty, gets brought along for the ride.
Quite literally.
Quite literally.
Quite literally. I think one of the funniest things, like, you can picture it in your head, is when she's on her way to the first destination and he apparates and turns upside down inside the car with his feet like towards the ceiling and his head like in the dash, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? She's speeding down the motorway and he's just materializing out of nowhere.
That was so funny. I laughed out loud during that part of that fic.
Because she also didn't know. Yeah, she didn't know he could do that. So, like, she really had no way to suspect what was going to happen. And it was so good. And then there's the sneakoscope in the car that's like not letting her get away with lying to him.
Yeah.
And it's so good. So good.
It's the fact that she doesn't know that he can apparate, at least to that level, because that's like significantly difficult. It's the fact that she doesn't know that he's figured out that there's a correlation between these red dots on her calendar and where she's going to be. And he's like, this is to do with this specific time within the moon cycle. And she is going here. And I know this because I have charmed her hair clip and I can follow her.
Yes. It also is around this time in the fic when it becomes like very clear that because she is at such an insane level of intelligence and because she is also savvy from also being a muggle, that very few people in her life have ever been able to keep up with her machinations. And so she is just like shocked that he's able to decipher anything as well. And this like continues to be a thing, is like she's trying to hide things from him, but he is good at his job. And so he continuously is thwarting her just enough to be a big pain in her side.
Which I find hilarious because obviously she's used, like, her friends growing up with Harry and Ron, and she's used to their level of intelligence. And bear in mind, Harry and Ron work with Draco. Like, they're also auras, but Draco is also putting up with Harry and Ron, and they're kind of ridiculous.
Oh my god. I love them in this fic because they're just like, they're such fun, like, little cannon fodder, and they have no idea what's going on the whole time.
Not a clue.
They are like the dumbest rocks compared to like, it's hilarious because like Ron you expect, like Ron in a lot of fics is like just a fucking idiot, right? And it makes me laugh that obviously the fic is like Draco and Hermione, but usually Harry's there with some level of intelligence to cause problems. It's like, no, him and Ron are like using the same brain cell in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sharing it, swapping it back and forth.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that for Harry because, like, poor Harry spent his entire childhood having to work those brain cells so hard to so many problems. So,
They
like,
fell
he
out.
deserves a little bit of a break and, like, just to do a little buddy cop movie on the side, you know?
They fell out. He worked them too hard. They disappeared.
That's right. That's right. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baby.
I have to say, one of my favorite things about this fic was the amount of research that went into it.
Yes.
And you
can tell. Yeah. You can tell how much thought she put into developing this story. So obviously we're talking about her research missions where she's going off and gallivanting around the country and then further on into throughout the world to find these ingredients. But there's a lot of history to it in terms of paganism. I mean, she goes to Glastonbury for one, and you see a lot of like the pagan influences in a way that wasn't present in the original series. And I have to say that I know it's kind of beating it to death at this point, but this fic is so much more than the original series. Obviously, it's using characters, it's using elements and the world, but she has truly built it into something that's her own.
Yes, and I think it's, like, actually, like, such a great example of that because the fact that with Irresistible Urge, she chose to create an entirely different world and do an entirely different thing is probably because she built upon the original source material so well that it's almost now very difficult to remove it from it too, because she didn't just take, like, inspiration from it and kind of ignore it and do a whole bunch of other stuff, which is what a lot of fics do, and to great effect, but she literally took fundamentals of the wizardry world and wove it throughout the series and then expanded on it in a really intelligent and really beautiful way. Like, I think even with even with the jotter thing, like even with the fact that it's a quill on parchment, but also it's exactly the way they would have written letters before with an owl, but owls are so slow, and she's like revolutionized this part of the world in a way that we've seen our own real worlds revolutionize at the same period of time when she would have been doing that is like absolutely incredible, like to piece those things together and to piece the timeline together like that, and then to also build upon like paganism and all of these different kind of magical belief systems throughout the world where J.K. Rowling did that to sort of super mid effect realistically.
Yeah.
Like, she told a great story, but she didn't build a very complex world when it comes to the details. And Bridget like was able to take those details and just like run with them in a way that like created something magical. Yeah.
You can tell that she is a researcher.
Yeah.
And that she takes pride and a lot of influence from things that exist. Like obviously Harry Potter, the world of Harry Potter is it's a world in and of itself. But in terms of the background research that has gone into it, it's very surface level. Like we see touches of paganism and influences from things, but Brigitte has really done the work. She has done the research. There's things that you wouldn't even think about that she's included. I think one of my favorite parts in the book was when when Draco is in dog form as a borzoi. And they've gone to try and find an artifact. And there's this one particular person, shall we say, that collects different magical and mythological artifacts. So Hermione is polyjuiced to be Draco, and Draco is a dog. And they've gone on this like overly complex mission to try and get this artifact, only to realize that that person is actually somebody quite significant in the wizarding world. But there's touches on different mythological basis. So they talk about, I believe they talk about Egypt at one point. There's a lot of Greek mythology that goes in there as well. And it's just incredible. Obviously, there is also Christian theology, which I'll touch on in a bit because it's a separate part of the book, but it is quite significant. But you can just really tell that the things she has included is really intentional, and that she's done the research and she understands why these things are important.
Yeah. Even in the way she has Draco and Hermione doing their jobs, like she like the way Draco behaves as this Auror who is on this bodyguarding mission is just as good as any like CIA, FBI spy movie I've ever seen. Like she clearly did the work to maybe not figure out exactly how to do that realistically, but to do it in a way that is incredibly believable and to where you actually like feel and understand that he's good at this compared to everybody around him. And I think so often you see people do this like kind of bodyguard trope, but you never see any real bodyguarding. And in fact, we get to see Draco dueling people. We get to see him in incredibly dangerous and stressful situations. And it's like very exciting and very well done. Yeah.
In terms of side characters, I just want to touch on that because you speak about Draco getting into very like dangerous situations. So there are a couple of characters that we see, and I feel like they really add a lot to the story. So one being Narcissa. We have Narcissa Malfoy, who she is very much giving former debutante, very rich, privileged. She is wanting to, move in the circles of the upper echelon and whatever makes her look the best in terms of like the public. So we kind of see her and her machinations working behind the scenes. So she's like pushing Draco towards Hermione, like, oh, this will look really good for our family. Like, you should talk to her. I hear that she's, she's quite accomplished for being a Muggle-born kind of like situation. But there's one instance where Draco is on a mission, and he ends up in peril. Like he's very close to dying. And Hermione actually saves his life, and she uses Muggle medicine in order to help him by obtaining a neurotoxin, an antidote for a neurotoxin. And after she saved him, Narcissa is like screaming, crying, going into St. Mungo's, and she's like, I can't believe you saved him. And it's completely changed her like view of Hermione, but also still retaining the character that is Narcissa, if that makes sense.
It's actually funny you bring that up because even before Narcissa is knowingly doing this, she is accidentally pushing Draco into Hermione's arms because she is trying to get him to meet these society ladies and have tea with them. And she's trying to set him up with people, and he is desperately trying to avoid this. And so when these things pop up, he is like, I'm going to go check on this crazy girl I'm supposed to be guarding because
he's like, by the way, I've got work. I'm really sorry. Like, I've got to go help her hoover her driveway, like it could be really dangerous. So I can't have
You
tea.
just want to hang out with her. You want to hang out with hot mommy. It's fine.
I think that's why he inspects her house the first time, right? Like he just goes over there and is like, I must do this because I can't be at home.
Yeah, he's like, I do not want to have to deal with my mother trying to matchmake right now, so I'll go check the wards on our house.
Yeah.
It's cool. which in and of itself was insane because you see like a whole other side to Draco in that he is like madly intelligent as well. Like he's not just a dumb cop like Ron and Harry. Like you've said, like he is actually really good at his job. Like he knows what he's doing. But he's also, you know, madly intelligent. He's really good at warding. You know, there's a lot of athleticism going on as well. Like he's fit, he's like smart, he's curious, and he goes into her house and ends up touching a particular book that is groundbreaking towards her research, and she freaks out, which hilarious, first of all.
Yeah.
But then he brings her a copy of the book that's complete, and it's like pivotal in her research, and she's like, I can't believe you've just given me this book. It's like a world treasure. And he's just like, also, no problem.
Yeah, he's like, it's no big deal. I just do this. It's fine.
I don't think I got to that part.
He becomes as soon as he like has the tiniest inkling of like how interested he is in helping her, and of course not why, he becomes the simpiest, like most lovely, like just I'm like drooling over it in my mind right now. Like,
that's so exciting.
So I mentioned the hairpins. He puts tracking on all of her hairpins.
Yes,
because they're everywhere.
So yeah, because she's constantly like taking them in and out. He notices in her bathroom they're like everywhere. So he goes to her bathroom. He puts tracking on every single hairpin because he knows that whatever tracking he tells her about, she's gonna try to leave at home. And so he does this so he can always apparate to her.
And later on, she's like, "How did you do this?" And he's like, "Oh, your hairpins."
And she's like, "Damn it! Like I didn't think of the hairpins." I mean, oh my god, it's so good. It's so good.
I had no idea that he does that. That's so exciting.
Yeah, and he also gives her a Malfoy family heirloom, which you forgot about that one, didn't you? He gives her
I
like
just can't. Like I just love it.
He gives her was essentially like a betrothal ring in his family.
It's a wedding ring.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he gets her to agree. He's like, I've given you this heirloom piece of jewelry because if you're wearing it, I'll be able to sense your vital signs. Like he can feel her heartbeat through this ring, and I will be able to apparate to you instantly, and keep you safe. And you can call me to you at any time.
I think I've gotten to this point,
but it's actually like it's a wedding ring. Like
it's a wedding ring.
Yeah.
And what's even more is he's been like tinkering with it as well. So he's the only one that can take it off. And he's also put a portkey in it. It's like a one-use portkey. In that if she was ever in danger, it would portkey her right to him.
Yeah. It's the strangest thing I've ever read. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
But like this ring does cause some issues. So like for instance,
I can imagine.
She's doing yoga one night and her and her heart rate peaks and he just like comes in all guns blazing.
I did get to that point.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what's wrong?
Because he doesn't know what yoga is, and she's like contorted trying to do a handstand, and he's like,
his brain is buffering. He's like, what?
And it's also because her schedule's insane. It's also like 4 a.m. Like it's like a dumb time of the day to be doing this. So he's like, something must be wrong.
Yeah. And then he's playing Quidditch, and she's panicking because his heart rate's gone up.
Yep.
And she ends up turning up there in her pajamas.
And she's like, what's wrong? And he's like, on the broom, like.
He's like, Quidditch.
Sports.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Hilarious behavior.
It's just... I was dying. Because they are just so clueless. They are so clueless. And I wouldn't say everyone, but pretty much anyone can see it. Everyone who's reading can definitely see it. So there's another moment where they are with Draco's friends. So they're with Theo and Pansy, and Pansy's dating Neville. So she's with
I
Neville
love Panville.
Longbottom.
What?
I love
Okay,
I
them.
love
haven't got
Panville.
this bit.
Yes.
It's
Sorry?
my favorite rare pair. Love Panville.
It's kind of like it's a big deal within the fanfic community. But they are being all it's so cute. They're being all cutesy and cuddly and drinking like cocktails that have amortentia in them.
Mm-hmm.
They have amortentia in them. And Hermione's there, obviously, and Draco's there. And Draco is smelling and tasting what Hermione smells like, and Hermione's smelling and tasting what Draco smells like. And Draco sat there so jealous because Neville and Pansy are like snuggling on an armchair.
Yeah. And they're so, like, in this scene, there's such a, like, will they, won't they going on because it's, like, so obvious and it's just so, but they're so naive that, like, even after they sleep together the first time, I swear to God, they both the next day are just like, well, that's obviously never happening again and that means nothing. And they just, like, go on about their days. And you're like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Like,
I love it.
Yeah, one of the biggest and like one of the cutest things about this book is when they're on their adventuring, they're Indiana Jonesing, if you will, and they've gone to France, and they're there to steal the skull of Mary Magdalene.
yes, which is just excellent.
It was definitely giving Da Vinci Code. And I loved it. But they're there and they're like staying in a hotel, and it's the only one bed trope coming in.
Oh wow!
It's the only room left, so they have to.
It's the only room left.
Only room at the end.
It's the only room left, and so they check in. They get there, they check in, and Draco's reading, and Hermione's like, "I want to read what you're reading." Because it's a book I want to read.
What is he reading?
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something that like research based or like history based. It's nothing like raunchy. God forbid. But they're like scooting close to like read the book as he's like reading it, and she's like, "Wait, don't turn the page because I haven't finished yet." And I'm just like, how fucking clueless are you? You're both so fucking stupid.
You're practically snuggling in bed reading the same book, and you're like, we can't have sex again.
Yeah. It's just
that, to be fair, is like one of my favorite, like, I suppose tropey things that happens in a book is like when it's obvious they fancy each other and then they like shag and immediately they're like, this can never happen again. We are enemies. And I'm like,
they don't sleep together until the end of the book.
Yeah.
It's painful. They're just so stupid. And it's funny because while they're on this trip, Hermione, like, obviously Hermione knows he's intelligent because she's seen it, but this is like the moment where she's like, holy shit, like he may be my like intellectual like equal, at least in some ways. So when they go to the nunnery.
Yes.
The nunnery. So basically the skull of Mary Magdalene is kept by a cabal of murderous witch nuns.
Yeah. Which sounds like absolute insanity, but is some of the most fun reading I've ever had is watching, because obviously they tell you the entire plan for this heist, so you know it's not going to happen like that, and it does not happen like that. It's a disaster.
It doesn't.
And
so,
the witches coming after them is just delightful. Just so.
And how they came back anyway. So let me and Crimson set the scene for you because you haven't got to this point. So their plan is to go to the convent rather, on this specific day when all but very few nuns will be at a town festival. And they will go in polyjuiced because, you know, she is a war heroine, he's a former technically war criminal and aura. So in the Wizarding world there could be some, you know, knowledge of who they are. And even after they've done what they do, they could be caught and they don't want their actual names associated with it. So they use Polyjuice Potion. So he's got brown curly hair. She's a blonde. Think Luna Lovegood, like long blonde hair. And they are newlyweds in their story, and they really want to see this church. That's all they want. They're on their honeymoon. They want to see this church. Draco.
That's what people do on honeymoon.
Typical honeymoon things.
Draco doesn't think you can have a disguise complete without sunglasses, because that's what they do in the comic books. So he gets her and himself a pair of red heart sunglasses to wear, pink heart sunglasses. And they are going to wear them. They are going to wear them, and they are going to be two muggles in love on their honeymoon.
Yeah. And the idea, like, Hermione is immediately like, this is ridiculous. We can't dress like this.
This is so stupid.
No. And then eventually it's like, you know what? Actually, two muggles on their honeymoon, they will act stupid, so this makes sense.
So they get to the convent, and they knock on the door, and the nun's like, "Oh, sorry, the convent's closed today. Everyone's at this festival. You should go to the festival." And they're like, "Oh, but we just got married and we really want to see the inside of the convent. I promise we won't do anything, and we just want to view it, and then we'll go." And the nun's like, "Muggles, I guess. Yeah, sure. Okay, come in, only for a short time." They knock out the nun.
Yep.
They knock out the nun and disfigure her her into a pew, a church pew. That's the one. Transfigure.
Disfigure's like taking your limbs off.
I mean, they turn her in.
They're not like slashing up her face. They're just turning her into an object.
They turn her into a church pew.
Yeah.
Which comes in handy later. So then they go down, like under the convent, because this is where the skull of Mary Magdalene will be kept. So they're going down, they're going down. And then they start meeting booby traps.
Yes. Many booby traps.
And throughout this process, they end up accio-ing the church pew transfigured nun. They realise she can't fit around the corridor. But yeah, it's during these booby traps that Hermione's like, holy shit, Draco is actually intelligent. Like,
yes,
impregnate me now.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Why do they bring the nun pew with them?
Because they realise they're up Shit's Creek without a paddle.
They need her
because they set off alarms, which call all the other witch nuns back from the village. And they end up getting to the skull, which they find out is sentient.
Yes.
Mary Magdalene is still in the skull. She's talking to them.
Yeah, her
and she's like,
iconic. Yep.
She's like, I haven't been out of here before. Like, great.
Anything less.
Meanwhile, Hermione digs out of like her, her bag that is like extendable, what is essentially a bone grater, which looks like a cheese grater, and she's going to grate off the back to get a sample of the skull. And then they realise that, the nuns are coming back, so they're in trouble. So they take the skull with them.
So Mary Mag is now part of the honeymoon crew.
She's part of the honeymoon crew, and they get on Draco's broom, which they have, and fly to a point where they can get out and disapparate or apparate. They don't know where they'll end up, but they're apparating because otherwise they'll be killed by the cabal of angry nuns.
That are, like, keep in mind, the whole time you are, like, laughing, but also kind of terrified because, like, the nuns are legitimately scary.
They're like ninjas. They're like
really
they're
scary.
deadly ninja nuns.
Yeah. They're like everything that's happening, like they're almost dying the whole time, but then also the skull is trying to talk to them, and like it's just ridiculous.
Like there's a rug in as one of the booby traps, which is basically if you step on it, it's the Cruciatus curse, but worse.
Yeah.
And it was created by the nuns.
Yeah, the nuns are really. I have a feeling that they populated that nunnery with like psychopath wizarding
Oh.
children they didn't know what to do with. Like,
yeah,
and that's-
100%.
Yeah.
Think Tom Riddle and the Orphanage, but they just
Yeah.
collected all the psychopath women.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a good time. I want to go there.
And then they end up in the desert. That's where they end up apparating to, with the
Yeah. Of
sentient
course.
skull,
Where
and
else
not
would they
really
be?
knowing how to get out. But yeah, then they
That's
obliviate the
iconic.
skull, and she gets sent back.
Yeah, they do return. They don't steal her forever. They're just borrowing.
No, they're just borrowing her. But it's like an international, like, news story. Like, they get back and there's like news scripts about how the skull has been taken, or like an artifact from the nuns has been taken by unknown muggles.
Yeah.
Classic behavior. Well,
It's just iconic, really.
I kind of love it.
Yeah,
I
you
am
need to
excited
read it.
read the rest of it. Like, I am gonna finish it at some point.
The nuns
when I
do
can
come
sit down and
back as well.
appreciate it. Oh, we
Oh,
see like
yeah.
a repeat of them.
Yeah, the nuns come back because Hermione enlists their help.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, obviously.
They forgive them later because they sent the skull back. So
Yeah.
Takes his backseat.
also Hermione, like, not
Wild.
only is crazy intelligent, but she just has all of the audacity in this fic. Like one of the very first things we see her do is go to this like incredibly dangerous like well that's being guarded by these
Yes.
hags who might want
Yeah.
to eat your soul.
Yeah, and
And
she's
is
like,
just
"Hello."
casually taking some water, like, it's fine, thank you. And
You-
Draco's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
You know,
So polite. She's like,
Yeah.
"Hey besties, like, can I take some of this?" And they're like, "Yeah, queen." And Draco's
it's
like,
so
"Oh my god,
girly pop. It's so funny.
you know that clip, the TikTok sound is like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, it's a baby. I know it's a fucking baby. It's that. That kind of energy. And Draco is the, what the fuck is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I also died when they were on that trip as well, because there was that like hippie witchy pagan woman who was asking to like read Draco's auras, and he was just like, what the fuck?
Is that when they're in the gift shop?
Yeah, and he's encountering like muggle hippie like new age people, and he does not know what to do. It's like, it's great.
I adore his panic. He panics a lot and it's hilarious.
He does panic a lot. I also adore, this is completely off topic, but I adore because we talked about it earlier, he like, people in the wizarding world don't know about the internet or know about computers. And one of my favorite tropes in any fic is Draco learning how to use computers. And in this fic, it is no different, because he immediately becomes obsessed with butts. It's just like,
Yeah.
what do you mean I can look up pictures of butts whenever I want? Like, what are you talking? It's great.
He's mystified and it's hilarious. Is it just me, or do you imagine him typing with like one finger?
Yes, he is definitely typing like a boomer, like with the clickety clap. Yeah. Like 100%.
But also he can be really sweet. He can be so
is
freaking sweet. I mean, they as in the Malfoy family, as in Narcissa, but you know, mostly Draco. Like, we want to do something because you saved Draco's life. And Hermione's like, I don't want your money. Like, trust me, I'm good. I don't need it. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. So she's like, donate it to St. Mungo's, and I want you to donate it to the Janus Thicky ward, which is, for those of you who don't know and haven't read the books because it's not mentioned in the movies, is basically where anyone with mental illnesses goes. And the Janus Thicky ward is basically as dilapidated as you'll get. Basically think like the worst NHS hospital, like in terms of funding. And it's that. And he ends up, you know, donating money, and he's like basically having his ass kissed by the board at St. Mungo's. And he turns around and is like, yeah, no, don't talk to me, ask Granger, because she's the one that'll know. And they are horrified. They're like, why would we ask like Healer Granger? But he's like, no, like she's gonna be in charge. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm just here for the money. Like, I'm here to supply the money. Ask Hermione.
Sugar daddy.
He is sugar daddying it. It's great. He just wants to make her happy.
I love a Draco that is like, do whatever she wants. I do not care. Like, leave me alone. Like, I love when he just doesn't want anything to do with anything. It's great.
I just love them.
Yeah. I could read about those two idiots a million times over and it wouldn't be enough.
Speaking of
I adore them.
2 more idiots, though.
2 more idiots.
Let's discuss 2 more idiots.
Yeah, because so we have this fic that I think we both agree is it does not get better than this when it comes to fan fiction. Like, really, it doesn't. This is the top of the top. And then she was picked up for Trad Publishing, and while a lot of people are saying that Irresistible Urge is Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being loved, it's not.
It's not, guys. It's not.
Yeah. So I have not read it yet. I own 3 copies, but I haven't read it yet. And I'm about to buy a 4th, actually. We'll talk about that later. But anyway,
my God.
Only 4? I'm getting 2 more.
Well, I think I might be changing my mind about which book to bedazzle, and I might do that one.
I promise you guys I'm really responsible, and I only have 1 copy of this book.
I have 4, and I'm buying a Fairy Loot and Owl Crate.
If I could buy the Fairy Loot edition, I would 100% be doing that. But I was not.
Lord.
But yeah, what was I going to say? So I have not read this one, but Molly and Emmy have. It is the top thing on my TBR actually right now. And my understanding, at least from reading the blurbs and everything I knew in the marketing, is that this really has nothing to do with the original fic other than vibes.
Yeah. The vibes are the same in terms of like the crackpot energy. It's just like I don't even know where to begin. Well, I do know where to begin. Molly, summarize us, please, because that's probably like the best place to begin.
It's a long one, so hold on your butts, okay? Okay, so Osric and I said hold on to your butts, okay?
I thought you said belts.
I thought she said hold in your butt, and I was like,
oh.
Have you never watched Jurassic Park? Hold on to your butts, no?
Yeah. Like, I know the phrase, but I just thought you said belts like a waist belt. So I thought
that's kinky. No.
I thought you were gonna like spank us if we didn't hold on to
well, if you'd like. No, anyway.
We'll use that later.
So 2 weeks. Like, there's only like a week and a half until we can do all of this in person.
And then they kiss. So Osric, an assassin belonging to the notorious and despised Firing Order, is suffering a degenerative illness that attacks his Seath system. Following recommendations from the best physicers money and presumably bribery and threats can buy, he learns Orienne may be his best bet at healing the disease that will leave him unable to use his Seath. As a shadow walker paid to commit any number of atrocities and crimes for anyone with a heavy coin purse throughout the kingdoms, his Seath, being on the fritz, is less than ideal. In that, were his order to discover the decline of his magic, he would be executed as the weak link in their organisation. Orienne, a Halen renowned for her work healing Seath degeneration, soon learns that her past flight of academic fancy, in the form of a half-baked idea about incorporating the old ways with the Halen Seath, has come back to bite her in the arse. As an epidemic of pox is running rampant throughout the teendoms and targets only children, often leaving them with encephalopathy, the Order of Halen, despite being the most prestigious and honoured healers in the teendoms, have not had any success securing grants that would help with the development of life-saving inoculations, leaving the entire order frazzled and subject to vast Seath depletion. Osric and his housekeeper, Mrs. Parson, soon learn this may be the best way to achieve his goal of acquiring Orienne's services, despite the Halen Order's strict policy of not helping the Firen. The pox-ridden peasant children and blackmail in the disguise of a charitable donation of 20 million thrymus, which he fully intends to recuperate, to their inoculation efforts should do the trick, and if all else fails, kidnapping ought to do the trick. As it turns out, Orion is not the sort of woman that can be threatened, bribed, and browbeaten into doing anything by a man with stormy eyes, excellent hair, and far too much swagger and ego. And the preposterous idea of rehashing a theory from her apprentice days seems far too far-fetched. But when her mentor, Xanthi, corners her into agreeing to the arrangement, she finds she hasn't much of a choice and thus begins an extremely ill-advised endeavour of forced comradeship. But neither will make it easy, and throughout, the unlikely duo begin to unravel a plot that is far bigger and more serious than they originally perceived, putting not only their lives but the safety of the warring kingdoms at risk, which becomes more apparent when Orion inadvertently begins a war between two of these warring nations. Scene.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
There are so many things that I want to say about this book, and I don't know how we're going to get any of them out in this time. But like the first thing about this book that really sent me was how fucking funny this book is from the get-go. Like I don't laugh out loud at books often. I kind of like chuckle inner to myself. I was like hacking up water like in about 2.5 pages, like sobbing, like
they are so funny. And I think that's one of the only things that you can compare with Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love, because the humor, the hilarity, the jokes, you know, the banter between the main characters, it's there. It like without a doubt. But it's not the same. It's not the same types of arguments. Like we're meeting two complete strangers. They have no idea about each other. They've never heard of each other before.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever encountered anyone whose writing makes me laugh like Bridget Knightley's writing. I mean, it's just incredible.
She is so clever. She's so clever and she's so funny and just genuine. And the way that she creates characters is unlike anything I've seen before. And it's not just the two main characters either. There are side characters that had me dying, especially Xanthi. Xanthi was just like this crazy old woman that just gives off chaotic, like, female energy. She calls Osric Onion Boy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Because he turns up in Orion's office. First of all, he knocks out her receptionist, her assistant, in order to get into his office, into her office, and shoves him under the desk. And he goes in and sits down waiting for her. And she turns up into office and she thinks he's there as like an undertaker who's there to do a job for her, and his payment is in onions.
She just throws a bag of onions at him.
She's like, "Oh, here's your payment," and he's like, "Why are you giving me onions?" And then he's like trying to threaten her and being like, "You'll do this for me, or else I'll kidnap you." And then Xanthi walks in, calls him Onion Boy, and is like, "Who the fuck is this?"
That's great.
My favorite thing about Xanthi is like she's like this prim and proper Halian lady, and then as soon as money's on the table, she's like, "Just break the law. It's fine.
Just do it. It's fine. We need the money." Like, bear in mind, they're the Order of Healers. So in terms of equivalency, they are the only like St. Mungos this kingdom has, right? And
they're like elite.
They're elite. They're the best of the best. Their magic, their Seath is specific to each of them. Like they can each do something different. But they all work to be like these incredible board of healers. And I can't remember where I was going with that.
The idea of like
where was I going?
The law is just like
feral. It's insane. Like they work with the kingdom, but they don't work with the Firing Order because they are the Dark Bringers, essentially. So there are different areas of Seath, and you have a connection with a particular area. So she is obviously with the healers. So she is the Halen. And she'll work with everybody.
Seath, isn't it?
It's the bright side of Seath, and he's in the dark side of Seath. Now, there aren't very many dark side of Seath. There's like 2, but he's like the bad of the bad. He's like the hired assassins. And they are so dark and twisted that the Helen's like, no, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, the best you're gonna get is like backstreet physicers. But his Seath degeneration, he's used it so much, because he can shadow walk, that his Seath system is beginning to decay. So I think one thing with the Irresistible Urge that makes it so unique is the magic system. It's not like anything
It's wild.
I've read
It's
before.
like
It's
the
so unique.
tattoos, like the parallels of the Seath system are beautifully done. Like the fact that they have like tattoos for their like department, I guess, but they're like their order, but they're on like opposite hands depending on what seat they fall through. And like it's funny because they're so very different. Osric is very, I'm just gonna kill everyone. Like, there's a bit of like touch her and die kind of vibes at some point. And she's like, to the enemies, like there's a bit where like, there's bandits, and she's like, please leave. Like, you have to leave because he's like, you need to leave. Like, he's a baddie.
Yeah.
And then they don't leave, and Osric's like slaughters like 40 people in a go, and she's like, "Oh my
I
god!"
love that.
Or like,
oh my god.
and then she accidentally kills someone, and he's like, "Haha, oops."
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's great.
essentially, Seath is the magic system, and everybody's power is unique. So he can shadow walk. He has obviously the Firen mark on his hand, which is a hellhound, and it helps identify what type of Seath somebody has and what order they're associated with. But it's not just you have an unlimited amount of magic and maybe you'll get tired if you use most of it. No, if you use too much of your Seath, there is there's a price that you pay. So
And everyone's is different.
Everyone's is different. So his obviously is his Seath system is rotting inside, dying. And if his system fully dies, he can't use Seath anymore. He's basically useless. Now, in terms of the Halen, with Orienne, if she keeps using her healing powers, she gets really chapped skin. And you know, like, oh, she gets a bit chapped, put lotion on. Like, no, she loses the skin to the point where you can see the bones on her hand. Another Halen loses her hair, so she's just buzz cut her entire head. Xanthi gets headaches. You know, there's a limit to the magic you can do. You don't just have an unlimited supply, and you're not, you know, what was I going to say? Infallible.
I like that part of it. I like that there's
I loved
like
it.
no one can be like super powerful because
it doesn't
Yeah,
cost.
it's
Yeah.
in a lot of books with magic, you see that the people, the main characters, are almost, you know, invincible, like they can't be defeated. But here, you can see the limitations, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool.
I think that like there's a couple of points in this book that I thought were like absolutely like pinnacle moments, and they've got most of them, to be fair, have nothing to do with the plot. The first one is that there's a running story about this guy called Scrope. And so it starts where they have to go and visit these baths. So they're like, we're gonna go into these baths. First of all, these baths, like these Roman bath vibes. First of all, she doesn't realize that they're like in the basement of a brothel. So they go into these baths, right? And then it says something like, please don't ejaculate in the baths. And then someone basically, I don't know what it says, but someone basically essentially writes like, for fuck's sake, Scrope, or something like underneath it. And this is like an ongoing joke. And then there's this next bit where Osric goes on this mission to find some information, to find some information, and he goes to this like really scary
seedy bar.
like seedy bar, right? And these prostitutes walk in. And what has actually happened is that she has got friends in the brothels. So she impersonates a prostitute to also try and get information because she doesn't think that he's going to do it right. So he's like, she's like,
a baby
wears long
hooker.
robes. Like, she wears long robes all the time, and suddenly she's got like, what does it say on her ass? She's got something written across her ass. Do you remember?
I can't remember for the life of me, but all I remember is him looking at her and being like, she's got legs. Like her ankles are indecent. Like he's looking at her legs and looking at her ass, and he's like,
it's wild. I'm gonna see if I can have a little look and find out. Also, the titles of these book chapters are absolutely
wait.
fucking hilarious.
I got lost.
So
who's Scrope? Do we meet this person?
Right.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So
Molly, go for it.
So essentially, because she is a healer, they do like charitable work, and they go and help like prostitutes and brothels and make sure that they, they're protected from like venereal disease and things like that. So she has a connection with these prostitutes, and they agree to, protect her and look after her and give her clothes in order for her to go undercover. They don't know like the extent of it. So she goes in to this really seedy bar because this is where this bloke Scrope is known to be. Turns out it is an actual man. I say man, I use the term loosely. And Osric is there to investigate, maybe beat some people up and see if he can get information by torturing. No, she's there to use her wiles and pretend to be a baby prostitute. So she is sat at a table with this bloke called Scrope. And Osric and her, on the DL are trying not to laugh because they've obviously seen this sign about this guy who's ejaculating into the baths.
Yeah.
And she is like really badly flirting with this guy, but the guy is totally falling for it. He's pussy in her hand. And she's like fluttering her eyelashes type of flirting, and Osric is incensed. He is absolutely freaking like fuming that this girl that is a nuisance to him has the audacity to flirt with this like basically lower than low type of man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's wearing a skirt that says "Make it bounce" on the back.
Nice. I like that.
Wild. Oh my god. The whole thing is like, the whole ordeal is feral, and then he like, the bad guy like tries to like touch her, and he like kills him behind the tavern.
Well,
and then puts him into like a dumpster or something. It's like feral. But there is one, right, I've got it because it keeps opening on this page because I want to highlight this page, right? Because there's this one bit in the book that I remember like actively like shrieking out loud, and Alex jumped out of his skin as I was sitting next to him. It was the funniest thing I think I've ever read in my life. So they go to break into this lord's house. Now so she's like the Helion, and she dresses him up as like her protector. So he's wearing like full armor, like medieval style tin
like
man
knight armor. Like silver, like shiny, like full head to toe, like suit of knight armor.
So my favorite part of this is when they get in, they're in the room, and then he says to her, like, he's like, also I love the way they describe things because it's like there's fuckery underway.
Yeah.
But like my favorite part is when he's like, "Have you got the time?" Because like he's like, "I don't have a watch," and she goes, I'll just read it to you, right? So she says, "Should have put it in your cod piece," she said, consulting her pocket watch. "My cod piece is already full." "Of what?" "My cod." And then she's like, she casts a cynical eye towards the cod piece, and he just goes, "I had to coil it up." Just sent me so far to fuck. I was like, it's just the way that it's written. It's just like, Had to curl my penis up. It's fine.
There's so many moments throughout this. So effectively, Oriane is testing all of these methods of combining, old pagan magic with Seath. And it was a hypothesis she had when she was an apprentice that by doing this, that they'll be able to help with degeneration of Seath. So his housekeeper, Miss Parsons, who is an absolute delight, may I say.
Love her, by the way.
She is hilarious. She is very much so the Alfred to his Batman. She knows that he is dark and twisty and he does all manners of fucked up shit. And she's kind of organizes him, So
what makes me laugh is that Oriane thinks that when she meets the housekeeper for the first time, she's finally a sensible woman. And then Mrs. Parson just says something along the lines of we'll just kill them off or something. And then she's like, oh shit, never mind.
She's so fucking unhinged. So they're doing all these different types of investigation. She's using her Seath and meeting him in secret to, track degeneration, see if it's improving, while also going on these missions. So she ends up meeting him in really obscure clinics for things I
forgot the clinic.
Yeah, for things like gout, and that's the tame one.
It's there's something bum acne at one point.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So an open clinic for for bum acne. And he's there and she's like, oh, change so I can do observation. And all he can find are these pink examination gowns that are made for children. And he wears it as a kilt.
Oh, this is ongoing, by the way.
It's ongoing.
What's the first thing he does? He looks in the wrong cabinet and ends up with a child's pink one or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Ends up with a kilt, and he's looking in the wrong cupboard again for the hospital.
And she's just like, can you look in the right cupboard and find something that fits? Anyway, there's other moments where, he's within his firing and he's trying to keep what's happening a secret. But he's also having to work on missions that are being set by essentially this very French female mafioso who is the most badass woman ever. And he's essentially just trying to keep the secret and heal his Seath rot before anyone can find out what's happening. But they end up uncovering things that are going on. So obviously Emmy spoke about this Lord's mansion. And he turns out to be one of these really high up lords within this particular kingdom. And they go because he initially got in touch with the Halen Order to have somebody come and look at his daughter who was supposedly sick. This child is perfectly healthy when they turn up, by the way. And they end up killing everyone. They end up killing everyone, and
everyone.
They kill everyone, and they're terrified of Firen because Firen is shadow walkers. They can walk in shadows. So there are people not just in this keep, but everywhere that ensure that there aren't any shadows in their home. So shadow walkers in the Firen Order don't infiltrate. So the scene is there's this lord and his lackeys are in a room that is essentially just full of lamps and mirrors so shadows can't get in. And I think one of the most twisted things that happens is there aren't any shadows in the room, but Oriane and Osric in his full suit of armor enter to talk to them. And the guy's like, oh, what you get? There's no one can get in here. And Osric's like, yeah, there aren't any shadows in the room. But you know where there are shadows? Inside your body.
It's wild.
It's so fucking, it's so gory.
Iconic.
He shadow walks into them.
Do you know what I think is so funny? The parallels in this book and the absolute contradiction of this, because you get this gory scene of him shadow walking into people's organs to kill them from the inside out. And then you've got the scene where like his best friend shows up at his house and he like shoves Orion into a closet, and his best friend's talking about like, he's like, I've got a concern, and he's like, what the fuck, mate? And he's like, does one of your balls hang low in the other? And then he talks about, he's like, I bet you plait your pubes, pube plait boy, and it's just like fucking feral.
Yeah,
Like,
so
what else going on?
effectively there's this character who very much so gives like Theo not energy in fanfiction. Like he's the Theo to Draco.
We always
so
need a Theo. Come on.
yeah, his name is Leo Frick, and he is just the most guileless, idiotic, simple like sidekick that has somehow decided that Osric is his best friend in the whole wide world.
It's so good, by the way.
And there's one moment where Leo Frick ends up at the same clinic that Osric is there to meet Orion at, but he's there for Orion to look at his problem. And there's like this weird moment where Osric walks into the clinic and he can hear Orion have a conversation with Leo Frick while he's showing her like his butt acne or something like that. And he walks out and is like,
wasn't it?
I think it was his balls. And he's like, oh, you've got this problem too. And Osric's like, yeah.
I have to say yeah, because I can't blow my cover. And it's just, they talk about, there's this really good bit where we haven't mentioned the animals yet. So like,
no.
they have
so
like, how do you describe these things? They're kind of like Patronuses.
They're supposed to be like Patronuses.
Animals,
but they're very much so more like Golden Compass. So they're called Deophol, which is basically, I think it's Old English for demon. And they're like a mist-like corporeal animal companion, which
that you create from your seath.
Which you create from your seath, but it's its own entity as well, so it can talk to that person. So they're with them from childhood, and they send messages.
They have them all the time.
Yeah, so they're wholly unique to each individual, and
it's just like
they have their own personalities. Yeah,
they can disappear though. They're like floaty in the air, like can teleport to deliver messages.
So
the reason I'm bringing this up is the porcupine thing.
Yes, so Osric's is a wolf called Cinder, who very rarely shows herself as anything other than a
big
like
black blob.
No, it's just floating eyes and a smile. Kind of like the Cheshire Cat. And then Orion's is an albino genet, which is kind of like a weasel, and his name is Ciel, and he hates Osric. Like he hates him. Like they're constantly having arguments. He really is. And I think at one point he calls him Onion Boy as well, which I just find hilarious. But Cinder is really sinister, but for some reason really likes Orion.
She's like, Mummy. I think like my favorite part about the animals is it's all back to your man and his drippy balls again. Like
Leo Frick,
Leo Frick, when he's like, I think, is it Orion says something like, what are his pubes like? Or something, where she sees his pubes from the closet and is like, he's got really spiky pubes. And then she's like, is his like animal like a sea urchin or something? And Osric's like, no, it's a porcupine. And she's like, yeah, that like makes sense. Like it's wild.
You said animals, and my first instinct was his pets. So the dogs. Osric collects dogs, and
from the people that he kills. By the way,
well, if he finds a dog out on a mission, he'll take it home with him. So I will delight you with the names. Okay, so there's Rigor Mortis, because that was what was happening at the moment that he found the dog. Arson, perjury, forgery, outraging public decency, high treason, diverse felonies, and creme brulee.
Creme brulee sent me, because they were like, were you eating creme brulee? And he was like, no, that was the murder weapon.
Bear in mind, this man kills somebody with a fork at some point during this book.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that.
And it's amazing because she's just like sat there and like standing there, and she's like surrounded by all these dogs with really bizarre names. And it completely goes against this type of character that Osric is at this point in the book. So at the start, he is very much so a cocky, like, egotistical prat with very few morals, a very, like, strong sense of justice, even though
everyone.
he flirts with everyone. He is a criminal, right?
I fancied him immediately, by the way.
So did I. So did I. But throughout the book, he begins to soften and kind of get this sense of, okay, right and wrong. And she stops being so uptight, effectively, and like becomes more, she becomes softer. But him with his dogs shows her a completely different side to him, which I just thought was so sweet. And on one of their adventures, they find a cat.
Oh yeah.
And they have to take him home. And
I forgot about the cat.
The cat was found when he was shadow walking into people's organs. So the cat is called Acts of Warranted Brutality.
All right.
Yeah. There are so many like good moments in this book. Like there's a moment when he is on the brink of death after fighting somebody from the Firing Order that was sent to kill and attack the Halens. And he finds out, because obviously he's a fire and he's in with that meeting, and he infiltrates and kills the guy. So it's this guy that he's known for ages within the order, because the guy was on his way to kill her. And he ends up stabbed, and he shows up at her parents' house in the city.
Oh my god, I forgot about this.
So she obviously is a wildly intelligent person who works for the Halens, but she comes from a really privileged background. Her mother is a engineer and her father's a botanist. They come from money, and she has gone home for her birthday, I think. And they've gone to the theatre and they're having a party, or it's her father's birthday or mother's birthday, something along those lines.
Someone's birth is
being celebrated. And she is there and she's dressed in like this elegant gown, and Osric turns up with a stab wound. He doesn't tell her. It's hidden.
Out, by the way.
He's bleeding. He is dying. And he walks in and he's having like full-blown conversations like, I'm Orion's friend. And he gets invited into the party with all her family, and he's like having full-blown conversations with her dad and her uncle and stuff, and he's like bleeding and she's horrified that he's there. And he ends like passing out, and she's having to cover and like explain that who this guy is, obviously a cover story, and then heal him in her childhood bedroom.
That's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I die.
He gets like softy.
He gets so soft.
There's like a quote that I highlighted on my phone. I wrote it down, and it was like, if anyone raises a hand against you, they're dead. I want you to know. And I was like,
I have so many quotes that I want to like. I'm going to share a couple, and then we can look at some like comparisons between Draco Malfoy and this. So one of my favorites was, you, on the other hand, have got the survival instincts of a crumpet.
Yeah.
Also, Fairham, her last name, had no business having thighs of interest.
Thighs of interest.
Thighs of interest.
Yeah.
You're a common thief. Common? How dare you? You're winding me up, said Fairham. You really are delicious. And then these are the really sappy ones that had me crying. So she was a thing between desire and impossibility. Then came the tender apocalypse of his lips on hers. He hadn't paid attention. He had been stupid. God's so stupid, he no longer owned his heart. And the last one, the realization was a breaking point. He saw before him the beautiful impossibility of it all. League upon league of impossibility stretching between them. It was ruthless folly. It was the sorrow of a thing ending before it could begin. It was a new circle of torment. It was a delicious wound. What joy seemed by misery. What pleasure fraught with pain. Like, this book is so ridiculous in some points. It's so funny. There are so many, like, really funny moments, but she also writes the most tender, like, heart-wrenchingly beautiful lines that have me, like, mush, like, crying. And
Yeah.
I love her. I love her writing. I love the way that she makes you love her characters and her storylines, and she really has created something it's so unique and so of its own, like, entity, that it's kind of insulting that so many people are comparing it to, like, Harry Potter in general. Obviously, her start in writing, and there are some influences from Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love, but there is a splurge to Fall for Your Enemy is so
It's unique.
singular, and it's ingenious, and it's so beautiful, and the way that the characters develop and change as they get to know each other and as the story progresses is just so beautifully done. And there are so many moments in the story that are so poignant, and you can see their relationship developing, and it very much so, like, is reminiscent of Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal, but at the same time it's its own.
Yeah.
It stands alone. It's so different. The only things that I could really say are the same is the fact that he's blonde.
Sure.
He has white blonde hair.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
the girl.
I'm looking at this, like, they look the same. I get that, like, for sure.
There's girly pop vibes in that you have a badass STEM magical female lead and a guy with twisted morals.
Who stabs?
And there's
someone.
banter.
Yeah.
There's banter and the witty, like, lines. The only thing that was direct reference to the fanfic was the fact that in her dedication it said puss 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 puss, like pss, 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 pss. And then in her office there was a skeleton with heart glasses on. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually the wild thing, especially with all of the drama that's sort of happened on the internet.
As usual.
Is just like people not understanding the nature of published fanfic in general, but this book in particular, because this book is not published fanfic. This book is just a person who got recognized for doing incredible work for free and then was given license to continue to use her brain to come up with something even more magical. And I just think it's, like, really crazy that people want to compare them so badly because it's not the same thing.
It's so different.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different.
It's also, I do think it's really interesting that people tend to not respect people who get started in fanfic as much when really, like, fanfic, like, allows people to set the parameters of what they want to work on in the craft. Like, obviously people use it to different levels, and some people are just writing very silly things, but in the case of Draco Malfoy, and the reason I'm so excited to read this book is because already by setting those parameters in a world that already existed, she did so much on top of it, and she created such a unique thing. I've never read a fic with, like, that well of a fleshed out world. I think the only thing that kind of compares, just in the sense of how much she changed the world, would be Manacled, but in that sense, she also borrowed a lot from other works, whereas Draco
Yeah.
Malfoy was quite original. And so I just think, like, I'm so excited to read this because I know that the world is going to be incredible just based on what she's done before.
There's just so much that I really wish I could say it, but we just don't have enough time to, like, go over it all. But this book is just truly a masterpiece. It's so funny. It's so well written. The magic system's unique. The relationship is just like chef's kiss. It's beautiful.
The way they talk to each other is just brilliant.
Yeah. And the
Like, the
relationships
insults
with
are
other
great.
people too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's hard, by the way. I think like so many fantasy books I've started in DNF, it's because like it felt like there was only two real people in the entire world, because there's two main characters that are very well fleshed out, and then they have side characters that are like generic. And so like that's just a hard thing to do. So the fact that like you're seeing them as so unique is amazing.
Yeah. Molly, what did you rate the book?
4.5 out of 5. But very much so a 5, like on Goodreads. The only thing, like like looking back now, I can't even remember why it wasn't just a full 5 stars. There may be like some smaller things that I would have liked to see, and like development in other areas. Like we don't really get confirmation of feelings until
Like the end.
the very end, like the last chapter, the very last line. And it was pushed as being spicy. It's not really, it wasn't really that spicy. Like there's self-love, shall we say,
Yeah.
each of them, but there's no spice between the characters. So meh. Like in that
I
regard,
was
like I'm not.
sad that there wasn't a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
With each other. And that's coming from someone who doesn't love spice. I was like, where's the little bit of spice I need? Like I need
But
this part.
it's a duology. It is a duology. So I feel like the next book will have that.
Yeah.
So I'm not
say,
totally mad.
I don't think they did a great job of making it clear that it was a duology, because I didn't know that it was a duology until it was already released and my friends started reading. Actually, I think until you read it and it was the arc. Because none of the marketing really mentioned it, I don't think. Which is very strange.
But I can confirm, at least I think I can confirm, it's been Goodreads confirmed. We have a title for book 2, ladies.
Do we?
We do. Do we want to know what the tentative title is?
Of course we do.
What does Goodreads say the title is?
Goodreads is saying that the title for book 2 of this dearly beloathed duology is The Exquisite Torment of Loving Your Enemy.
Ah! I love that.
Yeah.
I love that title.
I know. It's like kicking your legs. Just so excited.
I can't wait.
Do you know what sounds really random? Like, I really want the second book to be purple or like blue, like a purpley blue color.
Yeah, it needs to match the vibe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Like the color that Molly's microphone keeps going anytime it goes like a purpley color.
Like a lavender.
That color right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might have that color.
For anyone not watching, Molly's microphone's rainbow and flashes like the rainbow colors.
I don't have that.
We are thriving the Elton John DJ vibe right now.
I love that you've kept the glasses on. It's kind of a vibe.
Everything is pink. It's great.
For the listeners only, Molly is paying her respects to the book by wearing pink heart-shaped sunglasses. She also has like a pink microphone.
It's the only way.
It's a cutesy pink vibe.
It is the only way they will believe that you're a newlywed. Come on. It's necessary.
Obviously.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And if you got any last thoughts that you want to share before we finish out for the day? I feel like we've talked a lot.
We have. I just had the best time tonight talking about these 2 books. I love them so much.
Like, talk about something that's not Sarah J. Maas for once, right? Like we've been on a Sarah J. Maas.
It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Love them, but yeah,
But
I love these books.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of episodes right now on different books. So we've got like this one and the Sarah J. Maas episodes, and we're going to start Ali Hazelwood, and we're like kind of in the middle of Twilight, which will like make its reappearance at some point when I can be arsed picking it up.
I was gonna say, will it, or will you just DNF that series forever? I feel like
I think it'll show up at some point. I just have to be in the mood for it.
Okay.
I'm hoping that after we binge the movies, I might be more inclined to pick it up.
Okay.
But we'll soon find out. But I'm excited also for us to record some episodes that are not book specific. So we're going to do one on like adaptions at some point soon. We'll have Sue's back at some point to talk about narration.
Yes.
I'm
yeah.
excited to talk about things that aren't book specific soon. And we've got a few of those coming up before the end of the year. And we've got
Yeah.
author spotlights coming this year. We've got
We
another one coming.
do.
That's true.
Crazy.
Well,
Yeah. Is that it?
Well, I think
I
That's a
think
nice
that's us for
end.
tonight, guys.
Well,
yeah, we've done it.
what are you reading this week, Molly? You reading anything this week?
Monster penises, probably.
Just the years.
The usual. So I'm reading Checked Out by the Chupacabra, which is the Monstrous Meet Cutes by Wendy Guff at the moment. There are 2 more in that series that I want to finish. Ideally, I'd like to finish it this week. They're really short. They're like novellas, so I reckon I can do it. I need to read and finish Kingdom of Ash because we are filming an in-person Kingdom of Ash episode in a week and a half, or like 2 weeks from now.
Oh my god.
But we are going to be
Yes.
together.
Me.
We are going to be together. And I get to hug you. And we just get to be in a big cuddle puddle and watch Twilight and bedazzle books and like have the best time ever and see cows. So I need to read, I need to finish Kingdom of Ash. And then in terms of like upcoming TBR, my gran has read Night and the Moth and I haven't yet. So in order for me and Gran to talk about the Night and the Moth, I have to read that. And then I also have Duke It Out, which is a book about a Scottish lord, which I feel like I need to read either on my way to Glasgow or before I go to Glasgow. So
Yeah.
what about you, Crimson? What are you doing?
Honestly, probably not reading until I get on the plane to Edinburgh. Because so I have just drummed up a hell of a schedule. I have until next Wednesday, although I'm actually thinking about changing my flight to leave a couple days later. But I have until next Wednesday to finish everything I need to finish in the apartment to leave to come hug you guys. And then I will be in Scotland. And then when I come back from Scotland, I have 7 days until my in-laws arrive, and they will be staying with us for a month, and we are giving them our bedroom. And I just don't feel prepared. I don't suggest having people come visit the same year that you move into an unfurnished apartment. It's a bad idea.
Kind of feral behavior.
Yeah. Just what have I done to myself? So yeah, it's basically like no fun until at least next Wednesday. But I am like truly debating changing the flight to Friday. And then still taking maybe like Thursday and Friday off just to like give myself like a little buffer time. I mean, we're in the dregs now. It's like, the furniture's all built, but it's like, there's this box of crap that I don't know what to do with or whatever, like stuff like that. And so I just want to get the house ready enough that like it can be deep cleaned while I'm not here or and then be done with it, we'll see. And then actually I think my in-laws being here will be very fun because they've never been to Paris or to France before, so it should be fun to show them everything.
Cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you, Emmy, what are you going to be reading?
I'm really overwhelmed right now, I think, with books. It's gotten to the point where like I have things that I need to read. Like I've got some arcs that I really need to read, but I'm not in the mood for them. And then I'm like doing the tandem read of Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. And it's my first time ever doing the tandem read.
How are you getting on with it?
Oh, I'm fucking bored out of my mind, man. Like I just
How is it in,
I don't
Willy
know.
Boy's head?
Like I love Queen of Shadows, and then going into Empire of Storms, I'm like
Fucking
tempted
cabbage head.
I'm tempted just to skip straight to Kingdom of Ash.
But
I
I
know.
won't judge
you're
you.
tabbing.
I know. That's why I haven't done it yet. I've worked out that if I read like three
Oh, I have a
segments
question.
of like the tandem read for each book, like every night, I can finish it by like Wednesday next week.
I want to know, what are your tabs for Tower of Dawn? Like, what are your categories?
So my tabs are the same for every book.
Oh,
So I'll show you. Hold on. So I've got these luminous ones.
yeah.
Mhm.
So this one is for any cute moments. This one is for anything that resembles mates. So that could be like Aelin and Rowan, or Kale and Yrene having a moment, or like
Nesrin.
that kind of vibe. Like,
That's one.
yeah,
Nesrin.
Kale and Nesrin having a moment.
Fuck off.
So you're not very far then.
No. But yeah, so this one is.
Why would you go for Kale if you had Sartak there,
I
honestly?
know, right.
Smash.
I
Yes,
still
this
can't
one
believe
is
that
mates.
Selena went for Kale after Dorian. Like, what are you talking
Freaking
about?
baffling.
What's going on?
Yeah, so yeah, like mates, like anything that resembles mates in the entire
Cool.
series. This one is for like sad moments.
Anytime Kale's
anything
on
sad.
the page.
This one's anything for plot. It's kind of like it started as just plot, but it's also like OMG moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I started using it as an OMG moment in Empire of Storms. Actually, it usually was plot, but it was like, or like future things that are gonna like impact or that sort of thing. But I started using it in Empire of Storms. Like, spoiler to anyone listening, skip ahead for this bit, but when like Manon's grandmother decides to like execute Astrid, or like
Sure.
that's when I was like, ah, shit. This yellow one in any of the books with Aelin in it or Selena in it, or it depends on who I'm reading about at that time. This is for like sarcastic moments. So
Yeah.
like Aelin's, this is usually my Aelin tab when she just says something totally fucking out of pocket.
Do you also use it for when somebody calls Kale noble?
But I
Take a
should.
shot.
But I'm using it in Tower of Dawn for when Yrene says things in sarcasm, especially to Kale.
Fair.
This one, I kind of wish I'd swapped these. So this one is my funny tabs. This one is like anything that's hilarious, and then this one is anything that makes me really angry. Kale gets a lot of this color.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish I'd switched them, and this was funny, and the angry was more the orangey red color. But
Yeah,
I've already
deserves that color
committed,
more.
so
Yeah, I get
I
that.
don't want to change it now.
I think your tabs are far too civilized, I have to say, for reading
Yeah,
a book
mine.
about
I
that
did
asshole.
have like a Kale acts like a twat tab in the first couple of books.
I have that one.
Yeah.
I have fuck Kale.
Yeah.
Not this shit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless Yrene. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Mine are civilized because I like them to be like the first two books, like a lot of the tab were kind of based on
I'm tired.
based on the
Sorry.
story. I had like a no, you're fine. I had like a Selena Assassins and Kale's Baffled tab.
yes.
Like they were like, but like once I got into Era of Fire, they were very much like I've structured the tabs so that they're like specific now.
Yeah. I think there needs to be a tab for every time Kale thinks about something that you're like, you should have just tried to fuck Dorian. Like, I don't know why you act like you're just straight. And then there should be also a tab for like, what the fuck is wrong with your misogynistic brain, Kale?
That's my pinky tab, my angry tab. A lot of like the stuff that happens in the book, funnily enough, like I thought I would use the angry tab a lot more when it came to like the politics and like the king and like Erwan and like all of that stuff. But I don't. I actually use the sad tab a lot more because it more references the hardships of things that have happened.
Yeah, I get that.
Kale gets the majority of the dark pink tab. He says something out of pocket and I'm like, fucking dark pink that bitch. Like,
yeah, I also think I don't want to put any spoilers in this for people who are reading along, but once you know everything there is to know about the king, it's a little hard to look back on those moments and be like
Anger.
completely angry. Like
Yeah.
there's too much context, though. I think sad makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, other than like Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, I need to read, like, I really want to read the rest of the third book in the Dungeon Crawler Horror series. I'm in the middle of a book that I can't even remember the fucking name of, but it's downstairs. I'm reading Not in My Book on the side. But I really want to pick up Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil.
Yep.
I really want to pick up The Night and the Moth. I really want to get back to the Boys of Tommen series. I want to read more Elle Kennedy. And it's getting to the point, like, and I've got, like, the second book up here in the Legends of Smar series, and then I've got Shield of Sparrows that I really want to pick up. And then the final book in the Scander and the Unicorn Thief series launches in, like, 2 weeks. It launches when you guys are here. And I'm meeting that author in a couple of weeks. I'm going to her book signing.
Oh,
It's going to be
that's
full
fun.
of kids. It's at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Amazing.
Great.
It is a children's series, so there's going to be just like screaming kids everywhere.
My niece loves them.
I love them.
My
Like,
niece
they're
loves
so
them.
good. They're very like old nostalgic Percy Jackson vibes.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I'll only read that when that comes out. I don't know, guys. I don't know. And I'm looking at my bookshelf and I think of all the books I want to read, and then think of the books that I can read, and then I just get overwhelmed and just don't pick them up.
Yeah. Too much to read, not enough time.
It's starting to stress me out a little bit. Well, thank you everyone for listening. I'm gonna go put Molly and Crimson to bed because they are way past their bedtime and they've lost their shit. But if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a follow on Spotify or YouTube or Instagram, TikTok, wherever you want, really. Everywhere would be super nice. But at least just a listening platform that you're listening on. We are on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and most social media platforms apart from Twitter or X, because
Fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah. That's all. Thank you for watching. I don't know what next week's episode's going to be yet. I can't remember. I think when you watch this, next week's episode is probably a Sarah J. Maas episode. But please come back because we would really appreciate it. And that's it. Good
Love
night.
you. Bye.
Sleep well. Love you. Bye.